All right, forget everything you think you know about archaeology. Shovels, dust brushes, all that. Today we are going on a totally different kind of dig, a high-tech one. We're looking for one of history's biggest mysteries, the lost library of Ivan the Terrible. And what's wild is how we're going to do it, not with our hands, but with data and artificial intelligence.
So where does a story like this even begin? Well, it's not in some dusty museum or a quiet archive. Nope. It starts in the dark. I want you to picture this, a hidden world, this maze of old limestone vaults, a secret network burrowed deep beneath the busy streets of Moscow today.
And look, these aren't just any old cellars. We're talking about the silent, forgotten foundations of a city that's centuries old. I mean, for ages, these vaults have been holding on to their secrets, completely sealed off from everything happening up above. Just waiting. And hidden, somewhere in that labyrinth, a treasure. A treasure of, honestly, unimaginable value. A library, just lost to time. So that brings us to the big question, right? The one that's kept historians and treasure hunters up at night for years. How do we see it again?
Okay, so let's get into it. What exactly made this library so legendary in the first place? Why are we still talking about it centuries later? Well, trust me, it was way more than just a pile of books.
I mean, we are talking about a priceless collection here. This is the kind of stuff you literally only read about in myths. Just try to picture it. Jewel-encrusted Byzantine codices, just shimmering with gold and precious gems. And then ancient Greek manuscripts that could hold the keys to lost knowledge, wisdom from the classical world that might be gone forever otherwise. So how does a treasure like this get tangled up with one of Russia's most infamous rulers? Well, it turns out the owner of this library is every bit as legendary as the library itself. Yeah, this whole collection, this incredible connection to the ancient world, it just, poof, vanishes from the history books in the 16th century. And this happens right smack in the middle of the reign of Tsar Ivan the Terrible. He is the absolute center of this whole mystery. In fact, he's the reason it was hidden in the first place. But you have to wonder, right? Why would anyone hide a treasure like this? The answer really comes down to something historians call imperial paranoia. See, Ivan was a ruler who was absolutely consumed by distrust. He was terrified of plots against him, seeing enemies everywhere. And that paranoia, it made him hoard his most valuable things, hiding them not from, say, foreign invaders, but from his own people. The library was just too precious to share, and man, it was way too precious to risk losing.
Okay, so this is the real challenge. How in the world do you find something that's been lost for centuries without, tearing a major city apart? You can't just start digging up Moscow. The answer is pretty brilliant, actually. It's this amazing mashup of the ancient and the super modern.
So you've got this incredible contrast going on. On one side, you have researchers hunched over these fragmented, super cryptic chronicles from Ivan's era, faded old texts that are basically just riddles. And then on the other side, you have them using subterranean radar, ground-penetrating radar, to map out those forgotten vaults in insane detail, all without moving a single stone. And here's the thing, neither one of those is enough by itself. The real magic, the breakthrough, happens when you put them together, when you synthesize them. It's like blending these faint whispers from 16th century history with the cold, hard data from 21st century tech. And what you get is a single, complete map of the past. And that brings us to, honestly, the most mind-blowing part of this whole story. We're going to bring the library back to life without ever physically touching it. Because think about it. Even if we find out exactly where it is, we might never be able to actually get to it. But we can still see it. The key here is a piece of tech you've definitely been hearing about a lot lately, generative AI. To put it simply, it's a kind of artificial intelligence that can create brand new stuff, like text, or in this case, images, just by learning from a whole ton of existing data. So how does that actually work? Well, it's a pretty cool 4-step process. First, the AI basically reads and understands all of those old historical texts. Step 2, it pulls in all that radar data, so it knows the physical layout of the vaults. Then, for step 3, it gets trained on the artistic styles of actual Byzantine and Greek manuscripts that we do have. And then, finally, it takes all of that information, and it generates these incredible visual reconstructions of what those lost books probably looked like. And the result? It's nothing short of a virtual rebirth of these priceless artifacts. Researchers are digitally rebuilding the Liber, that's Latin for book or library, and it's letting us peek inside those hidden vaults for the first time in almost 500 years. It's incredible. And I want to be clear, the AI isn't just making wild guesses here. It's creating super detailed visualizations based on all that data. We can actually see the deep blues and golds of those jeweled codices. We can see the elegant handwriting in the lost Greek manuscripts. It's like having a window straight back in time to this lost wisdom, this perfect crossroads of art and history, all brought back to life digitally. Okay, so this is all really cool, but why does bringing one lost library back to life virtually matter so much? I mean, it's an amazing technical feat for sure, but the implications go way, way beyond this one project. What this project really does is give us a whole new blueprint, a new way to reclaim lost knowledge from anywhere on Earth. It's this powerful look at how history, power, and technology all intersect. You have the history, the paranoia of a ruler that made him hide it, and now, finally, the tech that can bring it all back into the light. And that really leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to end on. Look, Ivan the Terrible's library is just one mystery out of who knows how many. This technology is here right now. So it makes you wonder, what other parts of our lost history, what other vanished wonders, can this new way of seeing help us get back? When you think about it, the possibilities are, well, they're kind of endless.